Mr. Coleman, can you please tell us and introduce our iconic guest on today? As we give it up for our guest, please introduce her at this time.
Oh boy, where do I start? This special young lady that's joining us today has dominated Hollywood for the last, I can't believe I'm saying this because this young lady doesn't look a day over 21 years old, but this special young lady has dominated Hollywood for the last, dare I say, the last 6 decades, going back to her.
That's not right. That's not right. I'm not that old. I'm not that old. No,
Right.
Not 6 decades. Let's start with math, everybody.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I started when I was 7 years old,
Yeah.
and I just turned 51.
Right.
Day.
Right. Yeah. Your debut on yes, absolutely. Your debut going back to Good Times, when you made that cameo appearance on Good Times. And this special young lady has gone on to star in The Facts of Life for 9 years as Tootie Ramsey, Different Strokes, living in a 90s kind of world on Living Single as Regina Hunter. She has gone on to be recognized not only as a first ballot Hall of Fame actress, but a legendary TV movie producer, director extraordinaire, global humanitarian, whom has inspired millions upon millions of young ladies throughout the world to have, in the words of our hometown 44th president.
Who are we? Oh, here, wait.
Sorry.
Audacity to hope against all odds. Let's give a big South Side of Chicago welcome to the one, the only, incomparable, the legendary Kim Field.
Oh my goodness. Hey, I love the applause emojis.
Our students are muted here, but you see they giving the hand claps up. I just love how.
This is wonderful.
I'm glad you said your age, Kim, because I'm along there with you. But you know, Ms. Coleman, you started with Good Times. I'm gonna take you back to Baby I'm Back, because that's where I saw you, Kim.
There it is.
Baby, I'm back. So we waving at the camera.
Guys, give some wave emojis so I can hi everybody.
Okay, we're gonna wave emoji.
Are you guys okay with me taking a photo and being seen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll give some waves here. Hey, I am on a Zoom call with these wonderful students from a great school on the south side of Chicago. And we're going to do a Q&A and then share with one another. So hi, everybody. And I'm realizing there's 2 pages of this. Hi, there's more of you. Hello, everyone. All right, that's enough. Let's get to work.
Kim, I love your realness. And like I said, I remember you from Baby I'm Back. You did the Miss Butterworth commercial.
Yes.
But what I saw that really, 2 things that inspired me, and I'm gonna let the students, and if you have a question, please go ahead and put it in the chat room, or if you want to ask your own question, she's here and she's open and willing to answer your questions. But I saw something that had me in tears. Like literally, I think my head is still hurting because I was crying so hard. I saw a clipping of you and your mom. I'm probably gonna choke up right now. Receiving an award in Atlanta, and to hear your mom tell the story about leaving Harlem to go to California. Right now, it just chokes me up because I have a child aspiring to go into the acting field. And, you know, when I heard her story and when she was saying, you know, I just left, you know, we got up and we left. And she's getting ready to sing the song, Look Out World. And
wow, yes.
Finish that, because you got to let the kids know what that was about.
Sure. So quick overview, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. And I am seeing your comments, and I will get to your questions as well. So what is being referenced right now? My mother is a wonderful actress named Chip Fields. And if you guys ever watch on, I think, TV1, the reruns of Good Times, my
Iconic.
mother, right, the iconic performance from my mother when they introduced Janet Jackson's character on Good Times, and she had a child abusing mother. That's my mom. She is not a child abuser. She's amazing. But that just goes to show you what a tremendous actress she is, because that moment is etched in the annals of history, not just in everyone's minds and hearts and all of that. But that's one of those, it's etched in the annals of television history. You know, that's a Hall of Fame performance right there, and character. But my mom and I, a brief little overview, my mom and I are from Harlem in New York City. And that's why if you follow me on social media, I have such a love and affinity for that city. That's my home. I love all things Harlem throughout the ages in terms of Harlem and its rich history and culture. And I'm definitively what I call Harlem honey. My veins bleed Harlem honey, if you will. And so my mother, she had me when she was 18. She was a single parent, and we didn't have anything. I, of course, did not know this because my mother was amazing, even in her youth, to be able to try to share her world with me and to share a good life for her kid, even though she had no idea what she was doing, and she just knew she had a performer spirit. Are you guys familiar with the TV show or the movie Fame?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Give me some thumbs up because I can't see most of you. Okay, great. So thank you. So mom went to that school, the Performing Arts High School. And I like to say I went there too because I was in her belly in her senior year. And so mom, I'm always amazed that she really took care of me in the manner that she did, and with the rest of our village, her sister, my Aunt Pat, her mother, my grandmother, who was a ballroom dancer and a dancer at the famous Savoy and the Cotton Club and some of those places in Harlem. She was a dancer in some of the famous cabaret shows for Billy Eckstine and Pearl Bailey. These are people that you should know, no matter your color or your gender. These are people who gave us really phenomenal performances in movies and in music and in culture and in style. So that's our background. And so my mom decided that, you know, she wanted to just have a better life. New York, and especially Harlem in the late 60s, early 70s, which I was born in 69, was very different than it is now. And so it was, there was a lot of drugs. There was just a lot of, it was just a hard place to live and be. It was a hard place to dream, let alone try to go after your dreams. And so my mother, I went to school one day, and by the time I came back, the little bit of belongings that we had, she had packed up. She had borrowed some money to get plane tickets, and one-way plane tickets, and we went to LA. And she wanted to be an actress. She had just come off of a wonderful Broadway show with Pearl Bailey called Hello, Dolly. And so when we got to California, we walked everywhere. We didn't have a car. We would take the bus. And she constantly kept encouraging both of us. And so she wrote this little song, and it said, "Look out, world, look out, hills. Here comes Chip and Kim Fields." And then 13 years later, when my little sister Alexis was born, Alexis would always add in, "And Alexis." You guys might know Alexis from being on Sister Sister, Moesha.
Moesha.
She's currently on All American.
Oh, wow.
She has a recurring role on All American. I can't recall the name of her character, so if somebody knows it and can put it in the comments. But she's on that. She's a phenomenal actress. So anyway, that was a lot of how we kept inspiring ourselves, you know, like in the Bible when it says David encouraged himself. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Sometimes your whole squad, your cheerleaders, your family, sometimes nobody is there. And you have to have that mechanism to know how to get yourself up and going, how to put one foot in front of the other.
Yes, and I'm so glad she was able to sing it, because the clipping I saw, it just choked her up. I don't know, Kim, if it took you back to that and you really remember that.
Yes.
But because you were crying, I was crying. And it was just so touching. And I know you just celebrated a birthday on May the 12th.
That's right, yes.
So happy belated birthday. And how did you celebrate your birthday during this time?
Well, you know, a quarantine birthday was something that obviously none of us had that experienced this during this time. So for me, I had decided that I wanted to share gifts. You know, during a birthday, that's traditionally a time where you receive gifts. And I wanted to share gifts. And what I meant by that was I wanted to share the people who have been gifts to me, who have been gifts in my life, who have placed gifts in me. And I wanted to share that with people, with everyone. And so I ended up, I said, I have a line of coffee. I'm an entrepreneur and I have a coffee line. And so I said to my team, I would like for the coffee line to sponsor like these coffee conversations. And everybody, you know, is doing these live Instagram lives, especially in the evenings. And I was like, oh, I don't want to get lost in all of that. You know, why would I compete with Questlove and D Nice? And, you know, and it's like, I'm in their room too. Why would I want to come out for anything? And so we had these, what I called the birthday vibes countdown. And so we did 12 days of a countdown leading up to my birthday that kicked off on May 1st up until my birthday, May 12th. And I had these special guests who are, you know, people that are a part of my village and who have poured into me over the years. So Blair Underwood, Yvette Nicole Brown, my sister Alexis, Misty Copeland, Todd Bridges, Malcolm Jamal Warner, my cast members from both Facts of Life and Living Single, Johnny Gill. And some of it, you know, people don't realize, like, oh my God, you know this person? Or wait a minute, you guys have been friends for how long? You have shared what together? And you know, wait a minute, you guys have been each other's shoulders to cry on and shared laughs and, you know, all those things. So it was really great. Tamron Hall was another one. So it was really great to share those gifts and for everybody to be able to get some gems dropped into them the way that they have dropped gems into me. So that was the ramp up to my birthday. And then on my birthday, my mom and I were on IG Live for 3 hours. I couldn't believe it. And to top it off, everyone stayed. Everyone, I mean, it was, I felt like D Nice. I was like, oh my gosh. And so we chatted about, you know, life and our journey and everything. And then my Aunt Pat, who is a cornerstone and pillar in my village, she came on. And then we rented, we have this lake house that we love to visit. And so we rented a pontoon and we did a morning cruise, an afternoon cruise, and a sunset cruise, just the family. Because I love water. I love being on the water. I just love that gives me life and it recharges me and it refreshes me. And so that's what we did. And it was perfection.
Oh, wow. What a great way to spend your birthday. I mean, even though quarantine, but you
Yeah.
still sound like you had a blast.
Yeah, we really did. And then even after my mom and I spent the birthday morning, she kicked off the birthday morning later in the evening. I went on live and just, you know, people just kept buzzing in to wish me happy birthday. So Dondre Whitfield, Lisa Price, the founder of Carol's Daughter, some of my co-stars from my new series, the UPSHAWS, which is a new series that I'm starring in for Netflix. So Wanda Sykes and Mike Epps, Paige Kennedy, they all called in as well. Holly Robinson Pete called in. So it was really great. You know, when you can't really connect and be with everybody to do that.
So let me just add on what Kim has all up under her belt. 1 second, Mr. Coleman, I'm coming right back to you. Acting, directing, singing, entrepreneur. But let me talk about this rapping, Kim.
I don't know why they have that, because that does not exist. I'm a spoken word artist and a poet, and somehow, somewhere, somebody put rapper, and they need to change that. My team keeps telling them that has to be corrected. So there's nothing to talk about on that one.
Okay, let me clear that up. I want to clear that up because I read that twice, and I was like, okay, well, that'll be a good time for me to ask her.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
okay, Mr. Coleman.
Tell us all about the UPSHAWS, and everybody is extremely excited, especially here in Chicago, about your upcoming project. So tell us, what can we expect from the UPSHAWS?
Oh, lots and lots of comedy. I mean, just listen to this. Listen to what I'm about to run down to you. Mike Epps, Wanda Sykes, Netflix. Okay. That already is like, oh my God, what is that going to be? Yeah. Now add in Kim Fields. Now add in Paige Kennedy. Now add in Gabrielle Dennis. There's just so much there. Now add in writers like Regina Hicks, Mitch Marchand. So there's so much comedy. And the reason why, you know, it's great when I add Netflix into that piece, because it's no holds barred, you know. But we play a family. Wanda and I are sisters. Me and Wanda Sykes are sisters.
Oh my goodness.
And my old boy, my 13-year-old is like, you know what? She really is your sister in some alternate universe. Because we are very alike, and she's the unfiltered me. And then Mike Epps, so Mike and I play husband and wife, and then we just we have kids, but then he's got, when we took a break, he's got, you know, the baby mama and the son from that, and just trying to all coexist. And be a very real family with real issues, and you know, blue collar and white collar working class family, and but it's so funny. It's so funny and very, very real. So that's the UPSHAWS. So we did 5 episodes, and then the world, you know, derailed for a bit. So we're just very eager to get back to work to finish our season 1.
Okay.
Oh wow! How many episodes do you have for season 1 thus far?
The order was for 12.
For 12, the order, I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The order was for 12, and we've completed 5.
Okay, wow. And then touching upon, yeah, like I said, the Chicago market is extremely excited about the UPSHAWS and Netflix, your upcoming project. Going into my second question, you're very, very selective as far as what projects you want to be a part of and what projects that you'll take a pass on. What goes into that process when determining if this particular project or if this particular pitch is the right fit for you and your artistic integrity?
Sure. Thank you for that. For me, guys, it's honestly been, what haven't I done? What is going to be a challenge for me? What is going to be stimulating to me? What is going to be exciting to me, to, you know, dedicate a tremendous amount of time to? Who's involved? You know, at this point, I only want to work with people that I enjoy working with. Thankfully, that is the majority of people that I've ever worked with. And people just overall are good people, you know. So that's really the mandate. You know, what haven't I done? What genres have I not been a part of right now? You know, so I'm looking at projects in like dark graphic novels, that darker animation kind of thing. I'm looking at projects in lots of different storytelling, you know, whether it's limited series, whether it's in a comic book. So there's just that. I've been blessed to do this for a very long time. So at this point, it really is about, well, what haven't I done? And that's the kicker, guys. I feel like there's still so much that I have not done, you know, and it makes sense when you do the math. Again, here we go with the math. I did Facts of Life for 9 years. So I was one character for 9 years. For some people, that's their entire career. And so I was one character there, and I grew up from age 9 to 18. Like you said, I did.
Hi, my name is Leslie Ramsey, and I'm calling from.
I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. I did a series before that called Baby, I'm Back for a season. Living Single ran for 5 years. And so I was Regine for 5 years. So if you just put Facts of Life and Living Single together, for me, the next thing that I wanted to do as an actress was I didn't want to be a roommate. I had been a roommate for 14 years of television between Facts of Life and Living Single. So it was like, you know what? Let me just have my own place. Can I just get my own house?
Regine needs her own place. Yep.
And so beyond that, it became, okay, what else do I want to do? Hey, I've done comedy for a long time. I'd love to do more drama. I've been the good girl, or I've been the nice lady for a while. Even though Regine had her sass and her moments and all of that, there's still that sense of, oh, I want to play, you know, like I did a movie for BET years ago, and I was whodunit in the whodunit. And so there are different things that, you know, I want to do. So that's why when things pop up like Real Housewives or Dancing with the Stars, those are things that I had not done. I hadn't done that genre. Battle of the Network Stars, that type of competition. So those are things that I've done. And I'm so sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. I have to answer the door. Sorry. Life still goes on.
That's right. That's right. Thank you all. I think Ms. Mazza's class is on here. We have a lot of students on here, and thank you all so much for joining this call. I know she's pretty excited. You see, she was taping us as well. So thank you all so much for joining the call. She is she's iconic, legendary, been in this business for many, many, many years, going back to 1977. I can say that now since she told her age. 1977 when she started in, I think it was something for a Christmas Story or something. I'm just kind of giving a little brief synopsis about you, Kim, when you kind of walked away.
Okay.
Something you had done in 1977. I said, since you had told your age, then right. It's okay to kind of talk about it.
Yes.
Okay, you can go ahead and finish. I'm sorry about that.
I think that was it. That just was, you know, that's my process when I'm looking at scripts, when I'm looking at, you know, what I want to do. So for example, when the UPSHAWS came up, yes, it's a comedy and I've done comedy. It's a multi-camera sitcom and I've done multi-camera sitcom, but I ain't done it in the Netflix playground. That puts it at a whole different level. So Regina Hicks, my character on Regina Upshaw, my character in the UPSHAWS, I've not played that type of woman before. I've not had the type of interactions and engagements that she's having. So it's still stretching me out as an actress, and it's still a wonderful challenge for me. And so that's what I look for when I'm looking at that, because there have been projects and comedies and sitcoms and things that I've been asked to look at, and I've passed on them because I feel like I've been down that road before. I'm only looking at uncharted waters.
Okay. I kind of wanted to get to some of the students' questions in here because I don't want the time, and I know we kind of halfway through the mark. Christopher, okay, Christopher had a question. What an honor to have you talking to the young people. Okay, this is Chris' mom. You are a legend, and I've always admired seeing you on TV. Made me believe anything was possible. Smooches. So that's what Chris' mom said.
Which is Chris's mom. Thank you.
Miss Grace said, yes, I'm a spoken word artist as well and a poet. So that is our counselor, and she's happy that you're on here.
Now, if I may, right there, here's something. Hi. Here's something that you should know about me and Chicago. I have such a love for Chicago.
Yay, that makes me happy.
Let me tell you. So I've spent like long periods of time living in Chicago. For a little while, I lived up near across from Lincoln Park. For a little while, I lived near Printers Row. When we get out of quarantine, you better believe y'all need to be running up on SRO.
Yeah.
What?
Yes, yes.
And in the fall, when they do their turkey chili, on the turkey burger. So I love Chicago, but here's the thing too. I started out doing my spoken word in Chicago. Chicago gave me my wings and my comeuppance in the spoken word community in the early 2000s.
Wow, I started mine in New York.
Okay.
So I haven't really launched much here in Chicago, but I'm definitely hoping to get more into that because I just moved back here a little over a year ago. So I'm still like adjusting and acclimating and working on books and all that type of stuff. So
wonderful.
wonderful.
Hold on one more second for me. I have a delivery here and I don't want them to just.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was telling you all that Kim did a Christmas story. It's called Have I Got a Christmas for You? That was in 1977. Then she started her role and she did 13 episodes on Baby I'm Back. So that's kind of what I remember. And I first remember seeing her with the little ponytail, little puffball on top of her head. That was 1978. So that was a sitcom, and her role, she played Angie Ellis. She played Angie Ellis on Baby I'm Back. And then that's when in 1978, when she started with Good Times. And while I read she did 2 episodes, I thought she did more than that because I do remember her being on Good Times, and everybody just loved her. But I mean.
And then Roots, the Next Generation.
Roots, yeah, she did the Next Generation. She was Lydia. She
79.
did play that. But I think we just kind of remember her. So The Facts of Life was a spinoff. Wasn't a spinoff from Different Strokes?
Right.
Different Strokes.
Different. Yeah. One of them was a spinoff from
Tootie.
Yeah, Different Strokes.
Different Strokes was a spinoff from The Facts of Life.
No,
The Facts of Life was a spinoff from Different Strokes.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Mrs. Garrett was the maid for the drums.
Right. And so
she
I was trying to look at
the East Lake to run the show over there. Yeah.
Right. And it seemed like at some point we just couldn't get enough, even with Facts of Life, 9 years, she did 202 episodes. We just couldn't get enough of Facts of Life. She ended up they did The Facts of Life Goes to Paris in 1982. Then there was The Facts of Life Down Under in 1987. So like
George Clooney got his start on Facts of Life.
He sure did.
He sure did.
Did we not see Leonardo DiCaprio? Was he on there? No, I think he was on Growing Pains. I think Leonardo DiCaprio was on Growing Pains. But yeah, George Clooney was on Facts of Life. Yeah.
Yes, you're right on both of those from what I heard. Sorry, guys.
Okay. I wanted to do a question from Mr. Honer, Don. I don't know if he's still on the call or not. I think he is. And he wanted to know what has been the most significant challenge that you have faced and overcome.
Probably two challenges, and they're very internal. I recognize that a number of my peers and my colleagues have had to deal with things like sexism, racism. They've had to deal with Me Too movement issues. Those things have not been a part of my narrative. Getting in my own way, especially up here. That's honestly been one of my biggest challenges, where you have to do battle with things like, I'm not good enough. You have to do battle with, oh, they're here in the room. They're being considered for this too. When I went out for the audition for a commercial I did called Miss Butterworth Syrup, I was 7 years old. It was my very first job. It's online. God knows you can find it anywhere. But when I went into the room, first of all, we took the bus to get to the audition. We had just moved to California, didn't have anything. 7 years old, my teeth were all every which way, growing in, gone, all sorts of things. Bottom line is, I certainly didn't feel like anybody's cute kid. And I walked into the room and there was Janet Jackson. And at that time, Janet was doing those summer specials with the Jacksons. And they had these wonderful summer specials and they were great. And I would love seeing her, and she would do her Mae West impressions. And, you know, I mean, she was Janet Jackson. And I saw her and she was very nice. She sat there and she smiled at me and I smiled, and I turned to my mother and I said, I want to go home. I don't belong here. And my mom took me to the restroom and she said, don't let anyone or anything intimidate you. That young lady is not doing anything to you. You are doing it to yourself in here. You are allowing that to happen. Don't you let that happen up here. Just go and be the best that you can be. Go and do your best. And that has stayed with me, folks, for decades. If I'm going to a meeting, if I go to a producer session now, I don't audition the way that I used to. Now I either get an offer or I still have to, you know, meet with producers or network execs and things like that. And so you might see one or two others that are being considered, you know? And even now, I mean, real talk, I'll be on set. And I know I'm excited about my size 6 body that has taken me forever to get. But then one of my co-stars has this cute little size 4. Or even if she's in a different size 6 because she's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches taller than me. So her 6 and my 6 look real different, folks. And and so going into my trailer, the same way my mother would take me to that bathroom and say, hey, don't you let anything or anybody intimidate you. You are doing that to yourself. On the UPSHAWS, here I am 50 years old and still having that conversation with myself. Nothing that she was doing. And I looked good and snatched to the gods and everything else. But at the end of the day, I still was up here. Oh, I done locked my child out. Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's what you gotta love about Kim. She's very, very real, and I love it. But I'm just gonna keep giving and talking about her filmography. She played in Mork and Mindy. Yeah, she did an episode in Mork and Mindy. And again, her bigger roles, as most of you all probably know, The Facts of Life. But you know, she did so many other things. 227, Martin, you know, you name it. Golly, her repertoire is just, okay, you're back and I'm talking about you.
Yes, my repertoire is fabulous. Thank you.
Her repertoire is just fabulous.
But for real, guys, it's one of those things where certain lessons, you'll still learn the lesson, but you need those reminders. It's like folks that are in real estate, and every so often they still got to take a test. I mean, it's like that, where I know what to do, and I know better. And yet the truth of the matter is there are times when that'll still creep up. So sir, that is my, you know, my one of my challenges. The second one, I think I'm more proud of, because I really have flipped the script on it. I used to get very frustrated in the quiet of my soul of feeling overlooked. I used to get very frustrated in the quiet, way down deep places that you don't let people see. You don't talk about. You don't even say it out loud in an empty room. I would get very frustrated feeling like I was overlooked. And I had to start flipping the script. And instead of it being, I'm overlooked, it's, oh, they don't see me coming. It's a lesson I learned when I was doing Dancing with the Stars. And my partner, Sasha, had said to me, because I was still there week after week, because they didn't know what to expect. And I certainly didn't. I had never danced before in my entire life. You know, when you are a performer, you take certain classes if you're smart, in terms of just movement, but you ain't dancing, and not to this level. And so 2016, spring of 2016, I do Dancing with the Stars, and I kept staying week after week. And I went all the way to 7 out of 10 weeks. And somewhere during all of that, as I kept progressing, Sasha looks at me in rehearsal one day and he says, they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to expect. But now they don't see you coming. They didn't see you coming. And it was one of the most powerful statements I've ever received. And it became stretched out to my entire space. People do this to me personally. People do this to me professionally. I mean, just in so many ways where I feel like, oh, that's it. You don't see me coming. Because you think you see one of my characters. And that's who you see coming. And that's who you've allowed to come. You ain't see me coming in all my current glory. And that's been how I flip that script. Because if they don't see you coming, then you got the upper hand. You got the element of surprise. That's a weapon, baby.
That is huge. You just said, I mean, a mouthful. Like, if you all don't take that in, all of those that are aspiring in whatever you go
whatever. Science,
yes.
Mathematics, politics, community affairs, performing arts, entrepreneur, gardening. I don't care what it is, as long as you are above ground breathing. If you ever for a moment feel invisible, you have the element of surprise.
I have chills. I have chills. And I'm glad you're saying that. And I just want to share Ms. Mazza. She's our English teacher. I know Ms. Mazza is still here. She said, you are so amazing and talented. You grew up on the set. But what I love that she said you're successful and you're normal. Now she said you're successful and normal. She said, how do you stay so grounded? How do you stay so grounded?
I don't know any other way to be. I've never looked at my life as being a celebrity. If I'm blessed, I'm a working actor. I'm a working director. I'm a working producer. I am an actor in between gigs. I am, you know, I don't really like labels, but if I have to, that's what I do. Yes, what I do, number one, is not who I am. These are the things that I do. And when I do them, there are certain parts of the lifestyle that come with it. Yes, the celebrity components, the red carpet, the awards, the parties, the this, the lifestyle that comes with it. It ain't all roses and sunshine. There are parts of the lifestyle where you ain't worked in years. You have to keep your sanity, those sorts of things. So for me, and even with my famous friends, there's just a groundedness that we all have about us. So we don't believe the hype. You know, we understand the purpose of hype and we can appreciate it, but keeping it in perspective keeps me grounded. And then as I had children, you know, your kids will keep you grounded.
That's so true.
That
Very, very true.
Listen, that 6-year-old don't care nothing about none of that. Where is my waffle?
I know that's right. We have Nina Lewis. She says auditioning tips. Any auditioning tips you want to give?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's not mine. I said earlier that when I had my birthday, I wanted to share some of the gems with people who have put gems into me. Blair Underwood has put so many gems in me. He is one of my dearest, dearest, best, oldest friends. He is truly one of the most magnificent people I know. And one of the dopest actors, my God. And when I tell you, he does not rest on his looks and his swag. He does the work. That's a whole nother Zoom. But Blair said to me once about auditioning, because we were talking about it, and we was like, oh, you know, you get all, it's like taking a test, you know, for those of you who are still in school. And that sense of you get anxiety about testing, you try to cram and try to remember so much, you know, and just all of that. So he said to me one day, you know what? Don't make it about booking the gig, because you don't have control over that. First of all, what's for you is for you. What's for you is for you. And guys, you can apply this not just for auditions, but job interviews, all of that. I see you. Let me see. What's your name? Wait a minute. Heather. We just said job interviews at the same time.
Yeah, I'm a teacher here, and you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're a teacher. What? Are you a student teacher?
No, I'm a 3rd grade teacher.
Oh my goodness. Well, hello.
Hello. Yeah, so I right away was like job interview.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I hate it.
Yeah, job interviews for you younger folks that are not going into the workforce like that, but you are interviewing for internships or volunteer positions. Basically, you know, it takes the pressure off when you don't look at it as, I gotta nail this, I gotta book this, they've gotta like me, I've gotta, you know, do the whole dog and pony show perfectly. Because there's too many variables that you have nothing to do with, that are out of your control. For why you do or don't get the opportunity all the way. So what Blair said to me was, find a goal in that moment when you're preparing the material. So for example, going back to what I do as an actor, sometimes it's, you know, I wanna have more of a sense of unexpected in the work. I want to work on my dramatic choices being even more subtle. I want to work on my comedy being more broad. There's so many different things. So job interview, I want to work on my eye contact. I want to work on my voice. I want to work on not fidgeting when I'm in a job interview or any sort of meeting. There are all sorts of things that you can pick to work on so that, yes, of course, you want to still know, I want to do my best overall, but in terms of what is the goal, that way it takes the pressure off, you know? For those of you who are grown folks, hey, you can't go into it with, I got to book this to pay this light bill. You will destroy yourself with that pressure on you.
Yeah.
I gotta book this to get gas money. I gotta book this so that my kids can get this. And you're shooting yourself in the foot before you even get to the door. You know, you have to be real honest with yourself to know what are the things that pressurize you, you know? When I went in for the UPSHAWS, I didn't do all the auditions and all of that. I went straight to network and producers, and we had what's called the chemistry session. And it was me and Mike, EPPS. Wanda was in the room, but she's also a producer, an executive producer on it. So she was in the room for that purpose. We didn't do our scenes together. And I was finishing up a press tour for the Christmas movie I had just done. So, and I had produced this Christmas movie, executive produced it and starred.
Phenomenal movie, I might add.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. That means so much. Thank you very, very much. And so when I went in, you know, it was, I had my hair tied up, not a whole lot of makeup that I had put on in the car because traffic was horrible and I don't like being late, and I'd given myself plenty of time. You know, and so I got there and it was just like, okay. And it wasn't even about booking the gig. It was about, oh, who am I going to meet from Netflix? Let me meet somebody from Netflix today. I mean, that's really what it was. And when I went in, you know, I also, in terms of, again, the goal, I knew that the whole dynamic of a comedian and then an actress to play the wife. That's a formula that TV uses all the time. King of Queens, Martin, My Wife and Kids, Roseanne on the flip of that. But they all, you know, when they have a comedian that they're building a show around, that sort of thing. And I didn't want to just be that. They're great, don't get me wrong. And they have their place in television history. But I was like, well, let me try to do something different. I didn't know what that was, but I knew I just wanted to do something different. So all of that to say, guys, as Blair said to me, don't make the goal booking it, you know, be excited at the opportunity that you being seen, because that's a different energy. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to see you. And you're glad to see me because you wouldn't have invited me to the party. Those are things that you can control.
Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. We have our CEO, and I'm watching the time, so somebody be my little timekeeper here. As I know it's 11:53. I know we have Kim until noon. Our CEO is on the call. I wonder if she can just join in just to say hello. I know she wanted to speak to our very special guest, Miss Kim Field, the iconic legend, actress of all time. This is our CEO, Miss Stokes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Oh, my goodness. What an honor. And what you just said spoke volumes to me.
Amen. Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much for your time, your contribution. Of course, I have grown up with you.
Thank you.
Watching you from Tootie in the roller skates all the way up through your brave presence on the Housewives of Atlanta,
Mhm.
what you represented in terms of family and spirituality, your belief system, and staying true to yourself speaks volumes for myself and everyone on this line today. You are very inspirational. And I just love how authentic you remain no matter what. And that is so important for us as humans
Very much so.
to remember the opportunity we have to give and share. Like you said, it doesn't matter that you book it, you are invited, and that's the opportunity.
That's right.
You are in the room to contribute in the moment. And thank you so much for your contribution. Kim, I love you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I see you all. I see you all. I see you all. Well, all that are allowing me to see you.
Right. Some of them feel like it's just the quarantine right now. I know we have so much more. We are down to 5 minutes that we did not get a chance to cover. So I just hope you will come back and see us
Listen,
again.
I was
I'm
thrilled.
serious.
I was thrilled when my manager said that you guys had reached out to connect again. And, you know, we're friends, guys. You know, I'm a friend to your establishment and to all that you are doing. So, you know, let's do it again, you know?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so, Mr. Coleman, you want to add something?
Yeah,
And then I see
the
Mr. Chapman has
the
Excuse me,
summertime, you
Ms.
gotta,
Chapman, your son has a
summertime you
question in the chat. I'm sorry, this is Ms. Ramsey, the high school principal speaking. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Coleman. But Ms. Chapman, your son has a very long question in the chat, and I would really like for his question to be answered. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Coleman, go ahead while I kind of look at, I'll let my son.
the two questions for Benjamin Chapman. What is the best advice that you can give someone who is about to go into the industry, and this might come naturally to you now, but when the stakes are high on the set, what techniques do you normally utilize to be vulnerable?
Okay. The best advice I can give someone to go into the industry, learn everything. And that's just not my industry. In any industry, anything that you want to go after, have a really strong working knowledge of all the positions, you know? Guess what, guys? Sometimes the kicker can be the quarterback. Sometimes your defensive end can also be your running back. So, you know, have a working knowledge of all the different positions in that industry. Not only does it give you a leg up in terms of your knowledge, it gives you a healthier respect for the people who are actually in those positions, because you know what it is it takes to a certain extent to be in those positions. But then, you know, if something happens and they got to switch the roster around, you don't want to be unprepared, like, oh, I don't know how to do that. There's too many ways for you to have a working knowledge, basic working knowledge of every aspect of whatever it is you want to do, I can edit, I write, I direct, I produce, I act, I can do wardrobe, I can do makeup. Hey, but I can do it enough to, you know, so somebody ain't looking crazy. I can do marketing. I can do lighting. I can be a grip and carry those camera cases. I can wrangle cable. I have a working knowledge of all of it. I can do PR. So have a working knowledge of whatever it is that you're wanting to go into, because then that's how you make yourself more valuable. And you know, it also helps to just broaden your horizon. what do I do technique wise when the stakes are high and being vulnerable? You know, there are times when I just hopefully the writing is really strong and you just utilize the situation, and then the actors that you're working with. So going back to Mr. Coleman, the Christmas movie.
Yes.
There were scenes where I had to be very vulnerable. There's a scene, and we featured it on the Tamron Hall show, where my co-star and I, Adrian Holmes, he and I were in the scene talking about why I left town, what happened when my mother died, why I didn't want to take over the family business, and all those things. And we had rehearsed it, and our director, Rhonda Baraka, who's a phenomenal director, excuse me, we had rehearsed and rehearsed. So I knew my words and the material, and I knew where I wanted to go emotionally and what the scene needed. And the first couple of takes, I just felt like, ugh, that wasn't it. I couldn't get it. And I got really hard on, I get very, Mr. Don Honer, this is another answer to your question of obstacles. I can be really hard on myself, and sometimes to the point where it'll take me out of the situation. You know, if I forget my lines, oh, come on, instead of just going, okay, line, and that's something that I'm working on. I'm working on it. But I get very hard on myself when I feel like I'm not delivering what I know I'm capable of delivering. And what, even if I don't know I'm capable, I know I'm open to somebody else pulling it out of me and doing that. And so Adrian, you know, he kept saying, don't be so hard on yourself. I got you. I'm right here. Let's just keep staying engaged and connected together. And the performance ended up being really strong in that scene. When we're sitting outside on the porch and I'm talking about why I don't want to take over the family business and things like that, because it really was just a difficult scene. And I had to think about the writing, and I thought about things in my own life. So Ben, that's kind of what I do. I'll kind of marry the things that are going on for the character. And then sometimes I honestly do have to use things in my own life to be able to get me there.
Absolutely.
And we're out of time.
Man, thank you. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, we could keep you on for days and days, but when you join us, hopefully again this summer, all of our collective homework assignments will be to watch the UPSHAWS on Netflix, and then when you come and join us, hopefully later on in June, we will do a pop quiz.
Okay.
Zoom video pop quiz. So
Mr. Coleman, school will be out. No more quizzes.
We'll
Summertime, dude. Summertime.
We'll figure something else out.
An
Yeah.
assessment, not a quiz. We'll just be assessed. For an enrichment activity.
Enrichment activity. Yeah.
There you
go. Man, well, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join us here on the South Side of Chicago, and we definitely want you to come visit once things are as back to normalcy as possible. We would love for you to come to Chicago and you know, go down memory lane.
I am so there. And until then, we definitely have an open door with each other. So whenever you guys want to reconnect, just send up the bat signal.
Okay, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys. Take care. Have a blessed day.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Bye.